Alright, what's going on, guys? We are back with another Viper guide, and we're doing bind this time. Sorry it's taken so long to get this one going. I've been grinding to finally hit Immortal for the first time, and now we're on the road to Radiant. But I'm going to show you how I like to play Viper on bind. I'm not going to show like everything like that I possibly know. I'm showing you guys that things that I know that work and that I use literally daily. From little old strats that I like to use, basic walls, and then of course the lineups and the one ways and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, drop a like, leave a sub, hit that notification bell for more videos. I will be recording both Ascent and Split probably either today if I feel like it after this video, or sometime later this week, and we'll get those out of the way as well. So yeah. Alright, first things first, when the buy barrier is up every round, depending if I find myself running towards shower side or if I'm running towards market side, I do two different walls just to split the side up as much as possible. Really basic, just throw the wall down mid right here. Make sure the wall is deep enough in this pocket so no one can hide behind it. I made the mistake of that early in my Viper endeavors. But wall basically goes up. It cuts off some of heaven, I'm pretty sure, if not all of it. They can see a little couple heads if they come up here and stuff like that, so it's not like perfect, but it's enough to block off shower and bench and stuff. Very simplistic. Alright, now for the fun part, we're doing the molly lineups. So we have a lot of different positions for both regular default and then triple plant. I don't have any throwing orbs right now. I like to help clear sight as much as possible with the teammates, so it's not like a 4v3, 4v4, whatever it may be all the time. So we're going to show the default plants. Not going to need the orb or anything, but make sure wherever you throw the orb, if the teammate plants here or here, make sure you throw the orb accordingly. There's multiple spots for this. Most simplistic one, and probably the most commonly checked one, beware of this, so don't use it too often. But basically you're going to tuck into this corner, and right here on the edge of this curve, you're just going to aim slightly to the right of it, and you're just going to fire. Alright, so if they figure out that you're here, or they like push through short a lot and they check that spot, I like the shower, the little shower box one. So this is the spot for two different molly lines, one for triple and one for default. So you're going to be aiming at this leaf right here with the bottom left of your left HUD line, and then the same thing is for this leaf on triple. So just line up your bottom left of your HUD line just like this. Boom, right on default. But so this one, if you crouch in this corner, you have to crouch. If you line up your crosshair with the edge of this little corner of the wall or whatever and down to the left, this one right here hits triple. And then if you come over here and you line at the tip of this cloud where it fades, that one needs to be adjusted accordingly. See how it went over to the left a little bit? If you adjust it to the right and make it perfect, you still have the default, but regardless, if you plant on this corner, it's gonna stop the plant or the fuse anyway. But yeah, so that corner you both hit triple and default from there. Same corner as the other default lineup, and we're gonna look up at the sky into this leaf. So you gotta get good memory of it. You got this leaf that's very dark, and then this leaf that's hit by the sun. So you don't want to do it on this leaf. It's the leaf above the shadowy leaf. Same thing, the bottom left of your HUD line. I'll zoom in on the video. You line it up right in the little crease of the leaf, and you just fire. Alright, so this is the last one that I know for the A site. For the attacking side, so what you're going to do is you want to tuck right into this corner, and this is for triple. So it's like this little patch of leaves. It's kind of easy to tell-ish, not really. So you have like the patch of leaves that's by this leaf. You go to like the second one, and you just really just crouch and just put your crosshair in directly in the middle of it. and lands right onto triple. But just simply come here, and you want to line up with the edge of the little shack that people like to sit on, whether it's jets, raises, omens, whatever, and really even just cut off elbow and then cut off vision to CT. So they can't really sit in this corner. Their gun's gonna be sticking out. Blocks off elbow and then blocks off any info for CT. Just a simple wall. It's the same thing as an omen or brim smoke in here. Just this is not going to be smoked because I'm typically going to be using my orb for the molly lineups. Alright, now we're going to be working towards B side more. We're just working from one side of the map to the other. So if for whatever reason util is not being used appropriately, Sova drone, raise boom bot, anything to clear out hookah, and really you guys shouldn't even push hookah if it's shotgun round for your team or anything like that, because they will be sitting in there with that. If you want to clear out left side of hookah before your team pushes, I have a little lineup me and my friend created, like really like right when Killjoy launched. I mean, like we actually way before Killjoy launched, when he was still playing Brim and I was playing Viper still. So you get in this corner tucked in, and what you're going to do is on this little anchor of the pipe, right, you're going to line up your crosshair with it, and you're going to go all the way up to the roof, and right where your center of your molly, your crosshair passes the roof, just about like right here, and you just fire. If you do it perfectly, it bounces off that and goes into the hole of hookah and clears out this left corner. All you gotta do is just make sure they're not sitting on top of the box or here. Alright, now onto the molly lineups. So most teams would plant here. Maybe later in the round they start planting here so that they can guard from there better. Hookah long, it's a better like team plant. So really my favorite molly lineup is going to be back at fountain, because the way this lands, it lands enough to hit both. So you're going to tuck in on this star on the fountain, so right at the middle, right to the right of it, you're going to tuck right into the curve so your character stops. Now you're going to pull out your molly, and then the diamond to your molly HUD, right? You're going to line it up right in the crease between these two buildings, right in the curve and in the straight line, right here. Just going to line up the diamond with that, and then just going to left click, of course. If you go back to the same spot, the next one that you can do is to the right onto these solar panels, and kind of like make up an imaginary like corner here, curved corner, and you're just gonna line up your diamond right on the edge of the solar panel. And that's going to hit the right side default if for whatever reason you guys do plant here. Okay, so if you're worried as a Viper player, if you're not too confident in the longer range molly lineups, which are safer, but you want to be able to like maybe launch a molly and then still be able to, you know, check on everything and play shoulder peaks, whatever you want to do, right? So what you're going to do for 3 different spots, you have the right side default, the middle default, and the normal default. You're going to tuck into this corner, so you are very open to garden. Beware of this. You have to be very quick. All lineups are going to be right here between the top of the hate TP and the wall, little corner right here, the top left corner of this, and then I believe the bottom left corner of this. I don't use the right side one because no one really plants there. So bottom left of your HUD line again, you're going to tuck it into this corner for the first one, the top of the little square for that one, and then if I'm not mistaken, the bottom right one of that. I could be wrong on the last one. Yeah. It's a little risky. You have to stay crouched, so it gives you more cover. I don't think they can see you from here. Just be wary. if they do jump up or anything like that. But for the first smiling plant, the regular default is you're gonna aim your crosshair, create like an imaginary diagonal line right here, and put it right in the middle. You're gonna do that, and then I'll zoom in here. The in between your E and your X for your wall and your ultimate, whatever those keys are, you're gonna line them up with this little wooden beam right here, and then that's for the middle one. And then for the second default, the right one, you're gonna do between your smoke orb and your wall HUD, the same spot that you did previously. So it's gonna look like this. So the first one's here, middle, right. Alright, so you're outside of Hookah. This is my lineup for left side default and middle plant. Tuck yourself into this corner, and right where this cloud starts fading. So this is like where the cloud's at, and then it starts fading to the right. You're gonna aim from on top of the box, right on the edge where your crosshair's at, right where the cloud's fading, and then to the end of the cloud, still on the edge of the box. Fire again, and it hits default, and it even hits plant. So if you really you want to get on this little edge of this like stairs, but you want to make sure like you're just off of it, right? Just in front of it. And you're gonna take your crosshair and literally just aim it in the center of this yellow triangle, and you're gonna jump and left click. It's gonna land perfectly in heaven and blocks it off. They can come out on this side and maybe on this side, depends on how you throw it. But that's pretty ballsy for them, and you can't really stop that even if it's a brim or an omen smoke. So, but that's how you smoke heaven. Alright, on to defense. I like to play Viper typically a lot on A site. I used to play her on B until I realized what she can do on A. That just helps slow down pushes a little bit more, and once she gets buffed, I really hope she gets even more stronger for this type of setup. So for the orb, you get onto this bench, jump onto the box, and what I found easiest is if you tuck back into this corner, and then all you do is walk forward. You kind of get a feel of where you need to be. It doesn't really have to be perfect, but you aim at this little line between the red and the tan block. So you got the tip of the arch, and you go to the second line, right? And all you do is put your crosshair right in the center of it, and you just right click. It's going to land on the tip of the sign. And then right after you get that on, you come into this corner, and you're going to aim right at the tip of this TP, right? So when you fire it, it goes through the TP, cuts off Hookah, not the front of Hookah, but the back half of it, and then Garden. So I messed it up a little bit. So you want to perfect it to where you even might want to come to the left a little bit more. But if you're looking on the mini map right now, see how the wall is going right into the cubby? If I put the wall up, an enemy can walk into that cubby and surprise a teammate, right? So you want to make sure that the wall is slightly to the left, and it only blocks off Garden, so they can't creep in. You know what I mean? You don't want to give them that extra space. So from this side, this is what you get to see. Alright, you can look at it from this way. So this is what the enemy sees. Absolutely nothing. Literally can't see anything. The wall obviously blocks off short. Come through TP. I mess with mine. I played mind games with a lot of people in this. I would TP, and I'd put the wall up, and I would switch sides on them, open the door, fucking switch sides. They think I'm on this side, Yeah, it cuts off inside Hookah. Sometimes it takes out this angle that they like to do. But yeah, see how they could literally creep into this corner? You don't want that. You want this wall to come across this, like from inside Garden, that way more. So, all right. So just how like a brim or an omen or anything does a one way for short, you can do the same thing with Viper. You get on this box in the middle of the two boxes where the crack is. And depending on where your crosshair is, you want to put it slightly above anywhere on the box. So I just do it closest to the edge, just slightly above it, and you just left click, and it's going to sit right on top. So when the buy barrier drops, just looks like any other one way. I like this one better. Brims is the worst for this, by the way, in my opinion, depending on who does it, because sometimes it's really narrow and slim. If they mess it up or anything like that. Omens, it can fall through the, like if it's not right on the edge, it just falls and then it's a lackluster smoke, you know what I mean? Viper's the best for this. Alright, so if you're playing on A with Viper, which I like to do, obviously, same thing that you could do with util from like Raze or anything like that, or even if you have a Raze on A with you and she's throwing her boom bot through, whatever, it makes it a lot easier in case you do mess this up. But if you come to like the bottom of the staircase, if you know A is clear, no one's gonna fry you from either spot. If you aim at the center of the, like where the door is, right below the sign, you just fire the molly. It comes out through the door and into the front of Hookah. So if your teammate's getting pressured and he knows they're pushing Hookah, you can hopefully help them out and they'll all be vulnerable and double damage from that molly right there. Alright, so this is the fun part. So you want to kind of be very close, like not in front of like the stairs, but like right here, right next to the box. And what you're going to want to do is when you pull out your molly, or if you have your orb up somewhere, your wall up, you want to, which makes it easier, but you want to put the HUD diamond parallel as possible with the very top of the lamp sign, right? So somewhere around here, and you're going to jump and left click. And it just lands in this general area. Now what you want to do is you want to perfect it to where most of the time I have it bounce off the box. So I might have been like too far off to the right or anything like that. But you want to bounce off the box so it really negates the whole default plant. But this helps teammates that are back sight or pushing on for help rotation. If enemies usually walk through this, I'm doing like 30 to 60 damage to an enemy and they're vulnerable. So it helps a teammate secure an extra kill. Alright, so this one I haven't perfected, but I like launching it for shits and giggles. But same spot. Instead of the HUD diamonds, you're going to do the bottom of the fuel line, the fuel bar. And you're going to jump and left click. This should land typically somewhere around the left default mid plant. It's not likely for someone to like run into it, but anyone that plays on top, they're trying to plant middle. You know, it's just that extra like thing the other team has to worry about. I have gotten a kill from both mollies that I've launched, but it's fun to launch. The second one just varies sometimes. Sometimes it comes over here. Sometimes it lands here. Sometimes it lands here. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It depends on how you jump, how you throw it, where's your positioning at. It's something that I want to try to help my team from across the map. You know what I mean? Alright, so for whatever reason you're playing B on Viper on B, giving them a different look, or I don't know, for some reason your comp's weird, you got 2 sentinels on A or whatever, someone says hey go play B, whatever. Viper's better on A, always remember that, always fight for your positions. But the main wall I like to use for B is I'll aim this somewhere onto Hookah, basically on the inside of the ledge, right? Sometimes it lands up on the window, but you want to make sure, try to make it directly in the ledge, if not even on the window, to get that extra height advantage. So you can perfect it however you see fit, but wall cuts off everything, so like a smoke cuts off long. Just be wary that teammates or enemies can creep in. You could do it from in the cubby too, if you feel like someone's taking advantage of this, but I mean they can still like creep up into this spot or anything like that. Depending on how you want to put the wall, that's the wall that I use for B. Alright, so you guys can perfect these down to the pixel perfect spot. I'm not really going to do that. I just throw them out there because I know where I throw them, it does damage all the time and I get kills with them all the time. But for this one, you're gonna line up in the center of this edge of the crane and somewhere from like above here. So not exactly on here, but slightly above it. And you're just gonna eyeball it really. But make sure you're just above this crane. Somewhere like around here. Slightly above the edge of the building. And it lands on default. Should stop the plant completely. They might be able to plant here depending on how you throw it. I learned from Dixon. So you're talking to this barrel, and the HUD diamond that is usually the reference point for most lineups. You're gonna line up the white diamond in this little hole, crack, shadow, whatever you may call it. Just like this. And then lands directly on default. But yeah, I learned that from Dixon. White, either in the center of the crane right here, this little crack or crevice or whatever, the dip in the crane, or on top of here. It doesn't have to be perfect. But you're gonna line up here, and then you're gonna drift up into the sky, right in the middle section of the vent. Alright, so you're just gonna make an imaginary line, and you're just gonna jump and left click. And this lands over in the triple shower area. So if they're trying to push, if they smoke this off, and they try to push through that, you can do a lot of damage. If someone's weak, pushing through or anything like that, you can get a kill from it. I've done it multiple times. Alright, from the same barrel, for the default, for the spawn lineup to default B, you do the same thing for default A. Not always perfect, but people always like to plant next to that truck. So what you're going to do is when you pull out your molly, the HUD diamond on the bottom of your ultimate, I'll zoom in on it, you're going to line up, so where this line comes in line with this one right here, you're going to come to the left of it in the middle and like up, slightly past this line. It's not perfect, but it's enough that where it can mess with the team's head, make them move plants, anything like that. Yeah, so it takes away this whole plant section. They had to plant further out, and if they have a sage, it pretty much just negates the plant entirely unless they plant in this corner. But it will do some damage, and damage always helps, so you're always having an impact on the round. Alright guys, that's all I have for Viper on Bind. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, drop a sub, and hit that notification bell for more videos. We still have to do Split and Ascent. Won't do them in the same video, but I'll probably record them at the same time, if not today or later in the week. But I do have to put together this video, of course. But yeah, this is what I use daily for Viper on Bind. I think she's pretty nuts on this map, and once she gets her much needed buff, she can be S tier in the right hands. She's already A tier in my hands, period. That's just personal opinion, that may be biased, whatever, but I've had plenty of people say I'm nuts, or they think I'm the best Viper NA, anything like that. But yeah, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll crack out the other guides here soon. And other than that, pay attention for more highlight videos, and hope to see you guys in the streams. We do stream pretty much daily. We are on the road to Radiant, primarily as Viper. We won't play as many other characters. We might play as a couple Killjoy games or anything like that, or a different smoke agent, depending on what map it is, like Ascent. But yeah, I'm rambling at this point. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.